What's up, everybody? Welcome back to part 2 of my Amanda Knox book review, Waiting to Be Heard, a New York Times bestseller. If you're interested in the Amanda Knox case or interested in learning about the time she spent in prison for a crime she didn't commit while in Italy, I highly recommend getting this book. You can pick it up on Amazon. I believe someone said it was available on audio as well. Just a great read so far. Highly recommend getting it, as well as she has a podcast now. She's very active on Twitter and Instagram. I will link everything in the description below. So let's jump in with part 2 of my book review. She titles this one Day 1, November 2nd, 2007. It was a Friday morning. She said she walked home from her boyfriend's place to get a shower, and the front door of her home was open. She states it probably should have rattled her more than it did at the time, but she states the latch on the door was old, so she thought maybe the wind blew it open. All of the bedroom doors were closed. She states she was alarmed by 2 pea-sized flecks of blood in the bathroom sink, but didn't think that much of it. A sink she shared with Meredith, but then she also noticed a smear on the faucet, and after she got out of the shower, she noticed a brown stain the size of an orange on the bath mat. She lived in a villa with 3 other people. I believe there was 4 people in total that lived there. So then she went to one of the other bathrooms to use a blow dryer that belonged to another one of her roommates, and then she noticed that there was poop in the toilet, and she thought instantly that none of them would have done that. None of them would have left the toilet unflushed. States that that's when she got worried that someone else might be in the house and ran out. She was about a block away when she started second guessing herself, so she called her mom. She then called another one of her roommates, whose name I believed is pronounced Philomena, and told her what she had found. Filomeno states that she stayed at Marco's, and Laura, her other roommate, was in Rome on business. She then tried Meredith, but didn't get an answer. When she got back to her boyfriend's place, her boyfriend, of course, was Raffaele, she explained to him what happened and what she saw, and he said they should go back and look around. When they got back, they started looking around and noticed that a window in Filomena's room was broke and her room was destroyed. It was a mess. So Amanda immediately thought, and reasonably so, somebody had broken in. Amanda Knox states it was odd for Meredith to lock her bedroom door. She states that she only did it on rare occasions, like when she was changing and things like that. Otherwise, the door was unlocked. She couldn't tell if the door was locked from the inside or the outside, so she tried to go around and looked through her bedroom window, but she couldn't see in. Raffaele tried to break the door down, but he couldn't do it. She called her mom back, told her someone broke into the house, and asked her mom what she should do. Her mom obviously said call the police. Pretty solid advice from her mother. I think that would have been my first instinct the first time I went to the house, is to call the police. But again, you never know how you're going to react. Actually, I mean, she's a young girl in a foreign country, and she probably got terrified at the thought of someone was in the house and just ran out. I think for me, I don't know, maybe it's different. I definitely would have called the police instantly, but maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I would have ran out of the house and been like, what do I do? Like, I'm in a foreign country, so far away from my family and friends. I don't speak the language. Like, I'm going to need some help here. So maybe that was the right decision for her to do. You never know how you're going to react in that type of situation until you're actually put in it. It's easy for me to sit here and say now, I would have stayed and called the police. But who knows? If I thought there was a killer in the house, I might have ran away too. Amanda and Raffaele waited outside, but on their way out of the house, Amanda Knox noticed that the toilet had been flushed, so she figured someone was still in the house when she was in it originally. That would have been pretty scary, absolutely. Then what is called the Postal Police showed up, and then Filomeno arrived back home, said her room was a disaster but nothing was missing, wanted someone to break down Meredith's door. The Postal Police said that they couldn't break the door down, they weren't allowed. Then Luca, who is a friend of Filomeno's boyfriend, finally kicked in the door. That's when they discovered the body of Meredith. They discovered something horribly had happened in that room, and the police yelled for everyone to get out of the house. Amanda talks about how her boyfriend consoling her outside was later used against her in court. I've seen the footage, I've watched the documentary, I've watched a bunch of documentaries, news broadcasts, and everything on this case, and in my opinion, that's all her boyfriend was doing, was consoling her, which is what a boyfriend should do. And again, you're never going to know how you are going to act in that situation. It's very easy for you to sit at home and armchair quarterback the entire thing and say Amanda Knox was acting inappropriately, her boyfriend was acting inappropriately. How do you know how you're going to act in that situation? Only will you know how you act in that situation if that situation happens upon you, and I sure hope that none of you are ever involved in that type of situation. Later, Amanda thought it would be a good idea to tell an officer of what she found in the house when she got back, meaning what she found in the toilet. So she went and told an officer, and then the cop went and told her it was still there, which confused Amanda. Then they were all told they had to meet at the police station later. Amanda Knox states that she was the first person questioned by police. For the first hour, they spoke to her only in Italian, which she didn't speak fluently. I believe she said earlier in the book that she spoke it at the level of a fourth grader. And then when you're being interrogated by police for perhaps being a suspect in a murder, you need to understand everything that's being told to you. So clearly they realized she had no idea what they were saying, so they brought in an English-speaking detective for hours 2 through 6. Around 3 a.m. they were brought down to get fingerprinted. So they knew whose fingerprints to exclude when going through the house. November 3rd, 2007 was day 2. Amanda Knox states that during one of her calls to her mom, that her mom offered to fly her back home to Seattle, but she declined because she said she was staying to help the police figure out who killed her friend. Now, if you're guilty of murder, wouldn't you accept a way out of the country, a way home, a way on to the other side of the world to get away from everything that's going on if you're guilty? But Amanda Knox stayed. That should show a lot. That shows a lot to me. I would think 99.9% of guilty people would have taken their mother's offer and flown home and gotten out of Italy to where you would have allegedly committed that crime. But Amanda Knox stayed because she wanted to help figure out who killed her friend. She states that during her second day of questioning, the detective's tone was a lot different when asking her questions, but she had no reason to think at that point in time that she was a suspect in this crime because, as she knew, she was innocent. Then she states she was told she could not leave Italy as they might need her for months to come with help with this case. Her mom then decided to come to Italy, and her mom would arrive on November 6th. She states that later on November the 3rd, police brought her back to the villa, asking her more questions about what she had seen when she returned the day before. States they took her around the place where the people lived downstairs. They noticed more blood stains, blood on a blanket. They found marijuana plants. Amanda Knox told police that she didn't really hang around downstairs a lot. She thought it was odd that they were asking her about the type of sex that Meredith liked, or if she tried certain things. They were asking Amanda, she goes into detail about it, they were asking her if she liked various types of sex, if she knew if Meredith liked various types of sex. And remember, Amanda Knox is doing this all without a lawyer, by the way. She's doing this all on her own, in a different country, away from family and friends, and dealing with it through a language she doesn't really speak. So again, if she was guilty, wouldn't the first... She states it never clued into her that she could have asked for a lawyer. A family member, I believe, offered to get her one eventually. We're not there yet. But if you were guilty, wouldn't the first thing you would do is that I want a lawyer? But it didn't even come into Amanda's mind to ask for a lawyer because, as far as she knew, she wasn't a suspect because she's innocent. Then she states she wrote a long email back home to everyone at 3:45 a.m. explaining to them what was going on. That's where I'm going to leave part 2 of my Amanda Knox book review. You can pick it up on iTunes, possibly in audio format. I believe someone wrote in the comments that it's available in audio format, and Amanda is the one that's reading it. I'm not 100% sure in that, but I think that's what someone wrote. So if somebody can confirm that, let me know. Amazing book. Pick it up if you're interested in the case. You won't be disappointed. So much detail. You'll really, really enjoy it. I definitely recommend it. Hope you're all having a great day, and I'll see you again soon.